As an imposter expelled from a prestigious family, I find myself compelled to undertake 3 jobs a day to sustain my livelihood. Having just concluded a night shift, I was unexpectedly drawn into an unusual trading group. The usernames of the members varied widely, ranging from Zishu the Real Person and Interstellar Pirate to Grand Sorcerer, creating an eclectic atmosphere. I observed with keen interest as they posted tasks, one of which involved trading a battered spacecraft for 2 large barrels of potable water. Amused by the absurdity, I decided to accept the task and inquired within the group, "I have secured the water. May I ask where I might collect the spacecraft?" In the next moment, Interstellar Pirate tagged me. "Thank you, dear imposter lady. We were almost convinced we would perish on this desolate planet. The spacecraft has been sent your way. Please remember to accept it." In an instant, a blinding flash of light illuminated my modest 20-square-meter abode, nearly overwhelming it with the sudden arrival of the colossal vessel. After repeatedly causing chaos in my room and cupboard, the unknown entity finally realized something was amiss and began to shrink in size, appearing quite aggrieved. Once the radiance faded, I cautiously approached, and to my astonishment, there lay on the floor a sleek yet severely damaged spacecraft. My eyes widened in disbelief, entirely neglecting the disarray of my home. Wasn't this a role-playing chat? How could it be real? I stood there like a statue, silent for a full half-hour, before finally picking up my phone again. After swiftly exiting the group chat, I immediately dialed the police. "Hello, is this the police department? I need to report the presence of a spacecraft." This time, it was the officer on the other end who fell silent. Adhering to professional ethics, he took a moment before responding in a measured tone, "Hello, ma'am. Reporting false emergencies is illegal." I realized my words were problematic. It was difficult for any rational person to believe such an absurdity, and I struggled to conjure a plausible excuse. "No, please listen to me. A spacecraft truly appeared in my home, and I am not making a false report. It has destroyed my house, and there seem to be dangerous systems inside that I dare not touch." As I emphasized my predicament, the officer's tone softened. "I understand, ma'am. Are your family members nearby? Please have them take the call." This made me feel like a madwoman, as if they were seeking my guardians. I desperately organized my thoughts, trying to convince him, when suddenly, a brilliant idea struck me. I feigned a choked voice, urgency infusing my tone. "Why can't you understand? I'm not crazy. That thing poses a danger to me. Please hurry. We understand. Please ensure your safety. We are on our way." The voice on the other end finally took on a serious tone, mistakenly assuming I was using code to report a crime in my home. After hanging up, I breathed a sigh of relief, knowing I had successfully summoned the police. After all, I had not lied. This spacecraft was a threat to anyone. Gazing at the still active group chat on my phone, I felt a sense of disorientation. Just the day before, I had been entangled in the drama of imposters among the wealthy, and now I found myself thrust into the realm of the interstellar. Was the leap in narrative a bit too vast? The police arrived swiftly. Mere minutes had passed when there was a knock at my door. As I opened it, several armed officers rushed in, instantly surrounding me for protection. After a thorough search, they found no one else and turned to me with puzzled expressions. I offered an awkward smile and gestured towards the spacecraft on the floor. That is the spacecraft." The officers immediately adopted serious expressions, but still dutifully approached to examine the ship. He moved swiftly, and before I could warn him, he touched it. The spacecraft was triggered, enlarging once more, and this time, my living room was completely transformed into ruins. Everyone froze in shock. I felt utterly powerless, my heart aching as if it would bleed. Half a year's salary was gone. The officers finally grasped that I was not joking. They exchanged glances and ultimately decided to take me to the police station. I sat alone in the interrogation room for what felt like an eternity, acutely aware of my discomfort. Though I had committed no crime, I was exceedingly anxious. The door swung open, and a man with a square jaw entered. He was tall and exuded an air of stern righteousness. "Hello, Miss Yuan. I am Hejian, the Minister of National Security. We have inspected the spacecraft you mentioned, and it is indeed not a product of our era. May I inquire how you came to possess it?" I nervously fidgeted with my fingers, surprised that even the Minister of National Security had been alerted. After finishing work today, a trading group suddenly appeared on my phone. Out of curiosity, I exchanged 2 barrels of water to see what it was. My explanation was stammered. Even I found the truth absurd, unsure if he would believe me. Hejian nodded, maintaining a calm demeanor, but I could sense my anxiety was palpable. I still have that trading group on my phone. If you don't believe me, you can check for yourself. I opened the group chat and handed my phone to him. Hejian took the phone, his gaze fixating on the screen. But his brow furrowed as it became increasingly tense. I'm sorry, Miss Yuan, but I do not see any group chat. I stood up in shock, momentarily forgetting my anxiety, and leaned over to peer at the screen. The interface clearly remained on the group chat, where those from another world were still engaged in fervent conversation. I pointed to a message from Zi Suzhen-ren exclaiming. This Zi Suzhen-ren stated that those who approach with little appetite for desires, wishing to taste the sweetness of untried delicacies, are willing to exchange it for the rejuvenation pill. Can't you see this? I can only see a blank screen. Hejian called over several more officers, but they too, like him, could only see the empty interface. I sat back down in my chair, bewildered. What was happening? Was this some sort of unique advantage I possessed? What merit did I have to deserve it? What was the rejuvenation pill? Seeing me lost in thought, Hejian initiated a conversation. I shook my head and, at his prompting, took back the phone to ask in the group. The responses were verbose and archaic, suggesting that the rejuvenation pill had remarkable healing properties, capable of regenerating severed limbs. Surely, chocolate did not exist in ancient times. Should I attempt to exchange it? After noting Hejian's nod, I produced the chocolate I always carried. A white light appeared once more, and after the chocolate vanished, I found myself holding a jade bottle. This must be the rejuvenation pill. Whether Zi Suzhen-ren is exaggerating, I cannot say, but should we have it analyzed? I glanced around, and one of the officers took the bottle and left. During the wait, Hejian and I engaged in casual conversation. They had already conducted a thorough investigation on me, and even knew that I was a false daughter of the Gu family. Not long after, someone returned with the bottle, looking somewhat troubled. Minister, the lab reported that the composition of the pills in this bottle cannot be analyzed. It contains substances not found in our world. Hejian glanced at the bottle, about to say something, when a young man entered, missing an arm and covered in scars. Let me try it, boss. It's normal that the researchers can't handle the spacecraft or identify this drug's composition. He added, I've endured enough in this crippled state. Even if it kills me, I won't regret it. Hejian appeared choked up. His gaze at the young man filled with guilt as he quietly explained to me, Xiao Yu is one of my men. He was sent undercover but was betrayed, barely making it back alive. He is a genius with firearms but cannot accept his disfigurement, and now he is falling into depression. I understood, looking at him with admiration. He was indeed a hero, sacrificing for his country. With this in mind, I hesitantly suggested to Hejian, why not let him give it a try? After all, the spacecraft was indeed real. Hejian gave Xiao Yu a complex look before ultimately nodding. Xiao Yu took the bottle without hesitation and poured out the pills, swallowing one whole. The pill was indeed extraordinary, lustrous and translucent, exuding an ethereal aura as it was released. As Xiao Yu ingested it, everyone held their breath. And just as he was about to feign nonchalance, a wave of excruciating pain washed over him. He groaned, sinking to one knee, cold sweat pouring down his face. Before a doctor could be summoned, his wounds visibly began to heal, and the severed limbs started to regenerate. In just a few minutes, Xiao Yu underwent a miraculous transformation. Hejian's expression was a mix of shock as he scrutinized Xiao Yu's newly formed arm. Xiao Yu, are you feeling uncomfortable? How's your arm? Not at all. Boss, I feel fantastic. Excellent. Go out and have a thorough checkup. I can finally rest easy. A long-lost smile appeared on Xiao Yu's face as he rushed out the door. Hejian turned to me once more, his expression earnest as he extended his hand. Miss Yuan, thank you for your willingness to submit these items to the state. The country will not forget your contributions. Through this clandestine trading group, visible only to me, I seamlessly entered the ranks of the state apparatus. That very day, I resigned from 3 jobs, and with the accompaniment of several police officers, I gathered my belongings and settled into the assigned residence. My neighbors were all officers, and there were special forces lurking in the shadows to ensure my safety. I did not feel surveilled, for I was acutely aware of the profound impact this golden opportunity could have on the world. Even if I were a genuine heiress, I could not safeguard it. Rather than being captured and turned into a mere experiment, I preferred to recline under the protective embrace of the state. After a few leisurely days, free from worries about sustenance, my conscience began to stir. I proactively approached Hejian and inquired if there were tasks I could undertake. Your role is quite unique. You will constantly observe the trading group and acquire items that are affordable and beneficial to the state. You will have your own team. And this comrade, Shin Mingwei, will serve as your assistant. I glanced at the woman beside Hejian, who was radiant and gracious, and when she noticed my gaze, she offered me a gentle smile. In the days that followed, my responsibilities consisted merely of monitoring the group chat and relaying information. Shin Mingwei proved to be an exceptionally capable woman, not only managing the work meticulously, but also attending to my daily needs. When I discovered that she was the one preparing my nourishing meals, I was overwhelmed with gratitude, nearly brought to tears. During my previous life as a wealthy young lady, that couple had never treated me with such kindness. I asked her why she was so good to me, and she affectionately patted my head. Inen, you are still quite young, and seeing you reminds me of my younger sister. If you don't mind, may I be called your sister? Upon hearing her words, I instantly embraced this sisterly bond, despite our different parentage. Later, I learned that Shin Mingwei's sister had tragically passed away at an early age, and I happened to be the same age as her sister. After becoming acquainted with my fellow group members, Shin Mingwei provided me with a list of items we would definitely need and should acquire when the opportunity arose. Observing me silently reciting the list, she kindly reassured me. Do not worry if you cannot memorize it all at once. I am always here. Just call for me if you encounter anything challenging. Do not place too much pressure on yourself. Your abilities have already greatly aided the nation. As time flowed by, just as I was becoming accustomed to my leisurely existence, the nation of South Korea unexpectedly stirred trouble. They had miraculously acquired several volumes of the Youngla Encyclopedia, previously seized, and immediately declared to the world that they were its rightful owners. Watching the smug and shameless representative of South Korea on the news, I felt a surge of irritation. Suddenly inspired by the trading group on my phone, I sought out Shin Mingwei. Sister Mingwei, could we proactively post a task in the group, such as searching for the complete Youngla Encyclopedia? Shin Mingwei, having seen the news, pondered for a while before agreeing with my idea. It's worth a try. The time of the Youngla Encyclopedia belongs to the past, and if there are individuals from that era in the group, we might obtain the complete version. Hearing her approval, I took a deep breath, filled with an unprecedented excitement. I immediately opened my phone and began composing the trading message, generous reward offered for a complete Youngla Encyclopedia. The reward is a high-yield grain seed, resilient to cold and drought, suitable for barren land, yielding 5,000 jin per mu. As I wrote, I recited the content. And Shin Mingwei listened, astonished, before finally asking, "Surely, you are not referring to potatoes? Isn't that a bit exaggerated?" I smiled confidently at her. I merely embellished it slightly. The characteristics and yield are not fabricated. Besides, our high-quality potatoes would indeed be considered a miraculous seed in the Ming dynasty, would they not? Once my trading message was sent out, it quickly garnered widespread attention in the group. Even the Grand Sorcerer and the Radiant Knight began to tag me in the comments. Oh my god, such a miraculous seed exists. Too bad we do not possess the Youngla Encyclopedia. Miss False Heiress, could you consider altering the terms? We are in dire need of such miraculous seeds. While conveying this to Shin Mingwei, I tapped away on my phone with the speed I had honed during my part-time customer service job. However, before Shin Mingwei could formulate her thoughts, my trade had already been confirmed by someone. Miss, is what you say true? Such miraculous seeds exist in the world. We common folks would finally be able to fill our bellies. Previously, a nobleman fled here and left behind a pile of books. I cannot read, but I recognize the titles. Could you take a look and see if we could exchange? The images he sent were blurry, yet I clearly saw the characters for the Youngla Encyclopedia. I leapt with joy, unhesitatingly pressing the transaction button. A pile of aged books suddenly appeared, stirring up dust that made both Shin Mingwei and me cough. These tomes were evidently not well preserved, and neither of us dared to handle them, as we were not experts. Shin Mingwei contacted the authorities, and shortly thereafter, a throng of individuals filled my modest office. Many elderly individuals, their hair gray, held back tears as they carefully cradled the books, murmuring to themselves. At last, they have appeared. These literary treasures have survived to this day. I would gladly die for this. I quietly withdrew with Shin Mingwei, my heart ablaze with warmth. Soon, the nation released a statement showcasing the complete Youngla encyclopedia. In contrast, South Korea possessed only a few volumes. This time, the truth was undeniable and their lies were laid bare. South Korea, feeling cornered, began to proclaim that our nation had stolen their Youngla encyclopedia and demanded its return. However, these claims were met with indifference, as everyone regarded them as mere clowns. The higher authorities praised our efforts and awarded us commendation medals. Clutching the freshly minted medal, I was so exhilarated that I couldn't sit still and decided to find Shin Mi-wei to celebrate. Just as I unwrapped the fragrant takeout, Shin Mi-wei received a call. Her expression turned grave, and after hanging up, she turned to me. "Enin, we may need to postpone our celebration. Our first task has arrived." The National Day Parade was fast approaching, and our nation's new technology had been leaked to the United States by spies. My heart raced, and I hastily inquired, how much was leaked? Nearly everything. More critically, the United States has already publicly utilized this technology. If we reveal it during the parade, it will be perceived as patent theft, damaging our nation's reputation. Additionally, during the parade, Japan will also be present. They have been restless in recent years and may exploit the situation. Thus, we needed to swiftly trade for a new technology. But it could not exceed the current global standards by too much. I pressed my lips together, my mind racing. The cosmic battleship we had acquired previously was still not fully understood by our country. It was far too advanced for this era. Yet, during casual chats in the group, an interstellar pirate had informed me that it was a vessel they had long since deemed obsolete, salvaged from a deserted planet, asking if I needed to make up the price difference. The technology of the interstellar realm had far surpassed that of Blue Star. Yet I could not engage in exchanges with the realms of immortals or magic. In the days that followed, I immersed myself in this matter, tirelessly reviewing materials day and night in search of a technology suitable for Blue Star. After several days, Shin Mi-wei, under the pretext of helping me find inspiration, took me out to clear my mind. Coincidentally, the city was hosting a technology exhibition, and we decided to explore it together. The exhibition hall was overwhelmingly crowded, and Shin Mi-wei and I became separated, agreeing to meet at the exit. As I admired the refreshing technologies while making my way to the exit, I was suddenly stopped by someone. "Guan, what are you doing here? Are you planning to harm Yuan again?" I knew that this malicious woman would not give up. She not only sought to monopolize Yuan's life, but also aimed to destroy her. I turned back in a daze, only to find Gu Chen and Gu Yuan before me, my former brother and the true heiress. Gu Chen glared at me with fury, while Gu Yuan cowered behind him, trembling. Despite my innocence, I felt as if I were the villain in this drama. I had no desire to engage with them, only to locate Shin Mi-wei as swiftly as possible. Yet, they refused to relent, with Gu Chen adamantly blocking my path. "Yuan, you should promptly apologize to Yuan, or else don't blame me for targeting you. If you lose your job, just see how you will survive. Brother, look at how my sister is draped in designer brands. She's been cast out by our parents. Where did she get the money? Sister, you aren't resorting to that kind of work, are you?" Gu Yuan gasped, covering her mouth, ready to tarnish my reputation with slander, and Gu Chen, lacking any foresight, glared at me with evident disgust upon her utterance. "Yuan, you truly repulse me. Is anyone who has money capable of sleeping with you?" He sneered, attempting to grab me. I frowned and stepped back, but amidst the chaos, Gu Yuan managed to push her way forward. Sensing something amiss, I deliberately distanced myself from her, yet she let out a shriek and fell, toppling a plethora of robotic figures in the process. The stall owner rushed over, aghast at the sight of the scattered robots, visibly distressed. "What are you causing a ruckus for? Do you have any idea how much these robots cost? I will call the police. No one leaves without compensation." Gu Yuan propped herself up, tearfully imploring, "Sister, why did you push me? You've already taken over my life for more than a decade. Aren't you satisfied?" Seeing her pitiable demeanor, I felt as if I were transported back to the past. In truth, when I learned I was the false heiress, I felt merely a twinge of disappointment, devoid of any resentment towards Gu Yuan. If anything, I felt a pang of guilt. I had prepared myself to cherish her. Yet from the very first day home, she had conspired against me with an unending array of schemes. Even though I had grown up in the Gu family, they immediately believed the sweet-talking daughter, without even a hint of investigation, and branded me as malicious. I accepted being cast out of the Gu household, as I was not their biological child. However, Gu Qin, in a fit of rage to defend his sister, went so far as to blacklist me across the industry, forcing me to work in inconspicuous places to barely scrape by with 3 jobs. As expected, once Gu Yuan started to cry, Gu Qin was immediately incensed, disregarding everything and preparing to strike me. Yuan, it seems you won't shed tears until you see the coffin. Kneel and apologize to Yuan Yuan. Do you think you can resist the Gu family? Stop. Just as Gu Chen approached, Shin Mingwei rushed in, and upon seeing Gu Chen's stubbornness, she swiftly executed a shoulder throw that sent him crashing to the ground. You wretched woman, how dare you protect Yuan? Do you believe the Gu family will let you suffer worse than death? As Gu Chen writhed in pain, still shouting threats, Shin Mingwei, her expression icy, produced her credentials. Harassment, assault, and slander against a public official. I believe it is you who should awaken to reality. If the Gu family dares to flout the law, I genuinely wish to see how you will make me suffer. The venue was equipped with cameras. The footage would reveal precisely how this lady fell. No sooner had she finished speaking than several undercover officers rushed in to restrain the Gu siblings. The stall owner, having grasped the truth of the situation, glared at them with clenched teeth. Oh, so you two are merely putting on a show? 2 fools, and you've wasted my mech paint job. Once Gu Qin and Gu Yuan were taken away, Shin Mingwei turned back to me, her expression filled with concern. Are you all right, Enon? It's all my fault for leading you to encounter these 2 lunatics. I was not as despondent as she imagined. Rather, my eyes sparkled with excitement. Sister Mingwei, I've thought of a solution. What? Shin Mingwei looked startled as I eagerly pulled her back to the office. Inspired by the stall owner's words and having recently watched numerous sci-fi films filled with spaceships and time machines, I had overlooked another form of technological marvel, mechas. They embody humanity's romance and would not seem out of place in this era, especially if showcased during the National Day Parade, likely igniting enthusiasm among the people. As soon as I settled into my chair, I eagerly grabbed my phone and began composing a trading proposal. Generous reward sought for a full set of mechas. Compensation to consist of a year's supply of edible natural plants. With severe interstellar pollution, people sustain themselves on nutrient solutions. I was confident this proposal would not be dismissed. The interstellar pirate quickly responded, though his tone hinted at difficulty. Miss False Heiress, with a vented mood. I am indeed keen on this compensation, but the exchange terms are rather challenging. We have not had mechas for nearly a few centuries, only some remote planets possess scraps. And they are mostly dismembered, no complete sets. After conferring with Shin Mingwei, I promptly replied, incomplete is acceptable. We can piece together a set from the dismembered parts, and compensation will remain as promised. Seeing our relaxed conditions, the interstellar pirate immediately accepted the task. His speed was astounding. That very night, the remnants were delivered. Uncertain whether it was due to laziness or something else, he sent a plethora of scraps that, when assembled, yielded as many as 3 complete sets. Shin Mingwei joyfully summoned the researchers, and this time, the influx to my office consisted of a group of elderly experts who treated the mech remnants as if they were the most cherished treasures. After they departed, Shin Mingwei beamed with uncontainable joy. I just inquired. The mech technology is not far from our current era, and we should have no trouble in advancing it. Glancing at the calendar, I felt a twinge of worry. With only a month until National Day, I hoped we would be ready in time. Despite my concerns that night, I experienced one of the best sleeps I had had in recent times. As the days passed, the country devoted all its resources to the research of mechas. Those privy to the details were becoming somewhat distracted, eagerly awaiting good news. It was not until 2 days before National Day that Shin Mingwei excitedly sought me out in the dead of night, taking care to prevent eavesdroppers. We did it. Yuan, we developed the mechas. During the parade, we can strike a resounding blow to them, and Yuan, you will be hailed as a national hero. On National Day, Shin Mingwei and I rose early. We were about to witness the mechas crafted for our nation, yet for safety reasons, we chose seats further back. As foreign dignitaries entered, the representatives of the beautiful nation and the cherry blossom nation could not hide their smugness. Before the parade commenced, the cherry blossom nation, under the others' queue, could not resist causing a stir. Speaking in broken Mandarin, his tone was haughty. I hear the flower nation has new technology. Do not disappoint us during this parade. The leader of the beautiful nation was quite generous, offering to share their technology with the Cherry Blossom Nation. Surely your new technology cannot be inferior to such casual sharing? The leaders beside him were clearly exasperated, casting them a disdainful glance. Your camaraderie is quite commendable. The Cherry Blossom Nation truly exhibits great magnanimity, putting past grievances aside. Rest assured, our technology from the Flower Nation will undoubtedly meet your expectations. Having been subtly mocked, the Cherry Blossom representatives finally fell silent. Observing his ashen face, inspiration struck me. I pulled Shin Mingwei close and handed her a small glass vial. Shin Mingwei winked at me and disappeared for a moment before returning with a nod. For the duration that followed, we sat quietly in the back, ready to enjoy the spectacle of mechas. The leaders of the two nations remained blissfully unaware, gazing upwards with increasingly smug expressions. As a few formations completed their maneuvers, it was clear they were about to find yet another opportunity to provoke. Just as the leaders of both nations lifted their lips, poised to unleash scathing remarks, a deep rumble echoed from the horizon. This sound swiftly transformed into a thunderous roar, as several immense black and gold machines soared through the sky. They are not mere streamlined military aircraft, rather, they are true humanoid mechs, a tangible manifestation of human imagination. They may appear cumbersome, yet their aerial maneuvers are unexpectedly graceful and agile. The robust joints of their limbs operate with remarkable fluidity, emitting a deep and powerful hydraulic sound, akin to the very breath of living giants. In an instant, the legion of mechs has soared above the square, casting a colossal shadow that envelopes the throngs of people and their banners below. The leading mech descends with a resounding thud, followed in orderly succession by the others, their synchronized movements utterly awe-inspiring. The square, which had been filled with a subtle unrest moments before, now lies in a profound silence. The two leaders gaze upward, their expressions of pride abruptly frozen, replaced by an unmistakable shock reflected in their widened pupils, mirroring the oppressive presence of the steel colossi. It is our nation's leader who first shatters the silence, casting a calm glance toward the leaders of the two countries, as if inquiring, "Gentlemen, this is our new technology. I wonder if it meets your approval?" Only then do they snap back to reality. The leader of the beautiful nation briefly darkens with a flicker of unease. And before he can speak, the Cherry Blossom Nation has already interjected, their words shockingly blunt. "How could it be? Your nation could not possibly possess such technology. My esteemed beautiful nation has informed me that your advancements have long been pilfered by their spies, who await your humiliation during this parade. How could the illustrious Cherry Blossom Empire be outdone by you, a mere defeated foe? When the public opinion turns against you, it shall be the perfect opportunity for our empire to assert its dominance, and you shall become nothing more than our colony." The moment those words escaped her lips, the leader of the beautiful nation turned to her in disbelief, while the Cherry Blossom representative, realizing the gravity of her words, paled instantly. I exchanged a knowing glance with Shin Mingwei, suppressing a chuckle. I had long harbored disdain for this sycophant. The potion I had given Shin Mingwei was a truth serum from the magical realm, which she had slipped into the Cherry Blossom leader's cup, prompting this unguarded outburst. However, I wondered how they would salvage the situation now that such words had been spoken. The National Day Parade concluded successfully, with everyone except the representatives of those two nations appearing thoroughly satisfied. Now, the discussions predominantly revolved around the breathtaking mechs and the disgraceful conduct of the two nations. Regardless of how they attempted to clarify or manage public relations, the words they had spoken live on air were undeniable. To quell the uproar, the Prime Minister of the Cherry Blossom Nation was compelled to lead a public apology, ultimately resigning in disgrace. The beautiful nation, known for its audacity, pretended as if the incident had never occurred, adamantly denying the theft of technology. Yet, following the appearance of the mechs, my existence was revealed by spies. Gazing at the staggering bounty on the dark web, I mused to myself, "Well, sister, you have certainly made a name for yourself." Nevertheless, I held no concerns regarding my safety. Aside from the protection that lurked in the shadows, the items from my trading group were not something mere rodents could contend with. Just as I was reveling in this newfound fortune at home, a phone call abruptly interrupted my reverie. It was the parents of the Gu family. "Inin, your mother and I have regretted our actions. We should never have believed that Gu Yuan's words and forced you out. Since you left, we think of you daily and can hardly sleep. Inen, please come home. After all, we raised you. We will bequeath all of our estate to you. And if you dislike Gu Yuan, we can send her away. I arched an eyebrow, feeling utterly perplexed. Setting aside the confidentiality of my phone call, the notion of missing me seemed implausible. I had been raised by a nanny, and there was no profound bond between us. On the day they expelled me, they had made their priorities clear. They valued blood relations above all else. At such a critical juncture, for them to call me back, could the Gu family be spies? With that thought, I promptly called Shin Mingwei. Sister Mingwei, the Gu family has suddenly contacted me, claiming they miss me and want to give me their estate. They want me to return home. Could they be spies? Shin Mingwei's voice instantly turned serious. Stay at home and behave. The Gu family is not trustworthy. Indeed. The following day, Shin Mingwei shared her investigative findings. The Gu family was not spies, but their financial dealings were suspicious. They had received a significant sum from foreign exchange, likely to be used against me. The mastermind behind this was cleverly concealed, and any disturbance might send them fleeing. Reflecting on the recent acquisitions from my trading endeavors, an idea sparked within me. I could test the waters. The Master of Purple Void had recently purchased some chocolate from me, providing me with a defensive artifact said to withstand an attack of the nascent soul stage. I had the researchers tested against the mechs, and their full-force strikes could not breach its defenses. They certainly wouldn't resort to nuclear weapons against me. In truth, I was merely seeking amusement. And those above were well aware of my intentions, confident in my security. They allowed me the freedom to proceed. Armed with the artifact, I boldly ventured forth, accompanied by a contingent ensuring my safety. After our meeting commenced, the Gu family parents arrived promptly, along with Gu Qin and Gu Yuan. As I fixed my gaze on Gu Yuan, Gu Qin abruptly yanked her to the forefront, slapping her twice before turning to me with a conciliatory smile. Inen. I've discovered the truth. It was this wretched woman who sowed discord between us. We are siblings who grew up together. Please do not hold any anger against me. The Gu family parents also donned a facade of kindness. Their expressions softened. Yes, Inen, come home. We are family. All the grievances you suffered will be compensated. As I observed their hypocritical display, I couldn't help but laugh. Enough of the charade. I have long recognized your true nature, so there is no need for pretense. My surname is Yu, not Gu. I share no ties with you. Seeing that I remained unmoved, they exchanged glances, their expressions darkening. Ungrateful wretch, if you refuse to cooperate, then prepare to meet your doom. Do you think you can come here today and leave unscathed? Before their words had fully escaped their lips, a cadre of men in black surged towards me from all directions. Yet, no matter how hard they tried, they could not draw near. Their weapons could not even graze my hair. As the lurking spies emerged, the police rushed in, swiftly apprehending them all. The faces of the Gu family parents were filled with disbelief, while Gu Yuan, who had remained silent until now, erupted in madness, her face twisted with malice. Yuan, why is your life so fortunate? You previously occupied my position as the eldest daughter, and now you have the protection of the state. You have robbed me of my destiny. I regarded her impassively, articulating the truth that Shin Mingwei had revealed to me. You should not blame me. Our destinies diverged due to your parents. They intended to use my fate to avert disaster, which is why they deliberately switched us at birth. Gu Yuan's eyes flared with rage as she incredulously glared at the guilty-looking Gu family parents, ultimately being taken away with a bitter smile. Shin Mingwei patted my shoulder, attempting to offer comfort, and I smiled back at her. Do not worry, Sister Mingwei, I am not saddened. They have never genuinely cared for me and do not constitute my family. Moreover, now I have you and my country. I have ample protection. Submitting the trading group was the wisest decision I ever made. The sensation of being cherished by my nation is truly exhilarating. Family? My motherland is my family. I pledge my service to her, and in return, she bestows upon me the same protection and love. The end of the tale. Thank you for listening. And we shall meet again in the next story.